Welcome to Mini-Tutes, brought to you by JDRYART. I'm Jeff Drylowitz. Let's get going. So we're looking at the pen tool, right? You think, oh, it's a pen, right? Pens write. That's what they do. You pull the cap off, or maybe a little clicky, and it writes something down. Not so with the pen tool in Photoshop. You might have done something like this. Why is this not, dear God, why is this not working for me? This does not draw the way a pen draws. No, it does not. Because what the pen tool does is it creates vector shapes. So I'm here right now to make this easier for you. Let's demystify this a little bit. So the pen tool, what it does is you place anchor points, right? And when you make a second anchor point, it creates a path between the two. I will continue making some anchor points until I just make myself a basic shape here. With the pen tool, you have to make sure you finish where you started. So right now, you'll notice there's a blue line going around this whole thing, and that's great, but I have an opening here. I want to make sure I finish where I started. That little circle lets you know that it is now a closed shape. So what I can do with this now, I can completely edit this shape and move things around by moving these points. So I can always come down to my direct selection tool here, right? I've got path selection. That one lets me just grab the path and move it around. Or I've got direct selection. That's the white arrow. It lets me actually click on a point and then drag it. Now bear in mind, if I click off and then just click on a point and start moving things around, you might accidentally move the whole thing. But I'm just trying to move one point at a time, or one anchor at a time. Now, what I can also do is if I have my pen tool selected and I want to come down here to add anchor point, I can, well, add anchor point's pretty obvious. See, it's a little plus next to the pen tool there. I'm going to click that down. And you'll notice I've got another anchor point and I've got some handles. So I'm going to choose my direct selection tool. I can click on this, drag it, right? Because now I've got a curve. But I also can manipulate that curve. And to do that, I've got these two handles. It works kind of like a seesaw. When I move one down, the other one moves up, and so on and so forth. I can also stretch it out a little bit in whatever direction I want, and I can keep dragging it and moving it. Now, let's say I don't want this to be a curve anymore. What I can do is if I hold Option on my keyboard, Option will copy that. I didn't want to do that. My fault. Let me go back to the regular pen tool. Now, with the regular pen tool, I can delete my anchor point. Or, if I hold Option now, see, there we go. I got that little picture of an angle. I can click on it and get rid of it. Right? Or if I want to turn any of these angled, these corners into a curve, if I hold down Option again, and I click and drag at the same time, well, look at that. It is now a curve. All right, so I can do the same thing over here, and we are making ourselves a pretty lumpy looking heart, but that is the basic idea right there of using, oh, look at that. There we go, beautiful heart. That is the basic idea of how to use the pen tool. Now, if I want to change the color, bear in mind, the paint bucket will not work on there. See, you'd have to rasterize a shape, and that takes away the whole point of having a vector shape in the first place. So if I want to change the color, I have to have either the pen tool selected or the direct selection tool, and you'll notice I've got fill up here. When I click on fill, I can either choose from the folders, I could take the color out of it entirely, or I can click on this color picker here like you normally have in Photoshop and just pick the color that I want. And there you have it. I also have an option to add an outline if I want. Very same options as when I would do the fill color. I can pick a color in here as well. And I can turn that stroke up right here and give it an outline. In future lessons, I will go over how to do more with the stroke, but this was just a basic how to use the pen tool and how to make it much simpler for you to use if you're new to it or you just need a refresher. So I have been Jeff with JDRYART, and thank you for watching.